stop being lazy. Yeah. And I became creative. And I learned how to create it. And now that pride's for me. So come see. Oh, come here.
Welcome back to the Silver Lining Podcast. I am your host, the Stir Wide Web, with my co-host PB and Cam. What's going on with you, Peanut Butter and Cam?
Hey, we back, baby. I feel well rested. Had a good Sunday. Didn't have any falconry to ruin my Sunday. I get to just enjoy it. I got to watch Red Zone the whole day and just enjoy quality football. Didn't give
That's
a damn
right.
about any of the results. It was a glorious day. It was a
Hey,
glorious day.
man.
It was a good week to readjust, recalibrate, take a deep breath inside, breathe inside, outside, moose. Now we're ready for the home stretch, and I'm ready. I'm re-energized, baby.
All right. Well, look, man, we had a bye week. Had it at a good time in the season to have it, man, because I'm always leery of the too early bye week. I am a little leery of the too late bye week, though. And maybe we could have used this a little earlier. I don't know. But we here now, right? We got a lot to talk about. This episode, obviously, it's Thanksgiving, so happy holidays for everybody celebrating. Hope you enjoy your time with family and friends, and if you're doing it solo this year, man, hope you enjoy your time with yourself. So we can only do one episode this week. So we gotta, just talk about everything we saw happen, on things we thinking about going forward, and also the preview with the Falcons Chargers game. Now, I guess we'll go ahead and lead off with this. Today, a certain uh, polarizing pass rusher from Detroit just got released to waivers today. James Houston, the third-year player, who had a great rookie season. He played in 7 games that year at the end of the year and recorded 8 sacks. He got hurt in the second year, but he pretty much only played in 2 games, and then this year has not had the production. He's a guy who, he brings some good bursts off the edge. When I watched him play, and I'd heard of him, but I think I was confusing him with Justin Houston. I was like, "There's James Houston, Jay Houston." No, that's Justin Houston, because I'm a University of Georgia fan. Go Dogs. Um, and so sometimes that happens. But yeah, with James Houston, he's a guy who, if we're being honest, there is a reason why he's not starting, right? Well, he's not playing or starting, really, given the injuries they had. So I just want to get your thoughts on that, and then I'll go ahead and go into that some more.
Yeah, so I saw he got released, and hey, given the pass rushers we got, it can't do no worse. It can't be no worse than Lorenzo Carter, then D'Angelo Malone, then Arnold Ebiketie, then Matthew Judon. If he clears waivers, why not take a shot at him? Maybe it'll work. Maybe we can revitalize his career. He's only in year 3. He's 26. There's still some molding to be done, but at the same time, some red flags have appeared in the sense that they lost Aiden Hutchinson for us pretty much the year. He may come back if they make the Super Bowl, but they essentially lost him for the year.
Right.
They're down a man at pass rusher, and then you just wave one. That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. But at the same time, look at what we got. This defense that can't stop anybody. When I mean anybody, this defense can't stop anybody. Maybe they had a coming to Jesus moment over this bye week. Maybe they figured some things out. Maybe Jimmy Lake ironed out his X's and O's. Maybe these players have found an awakening or something. But hey, I've seen what I've seen. We're 11 games in, and I've seen a defense that has holes in it that needs a lot of help to fix. And if he's available and we can use him, by all means, let's give it a go.
All right. Would you claim him off of waivers, or would you try to sign him as a free agent?
I would try to claim him off waivers. And if we couldn't do that, maybe sign him in free agency. Maybe nothing more than like a year long deal. Like really, like a prove it deal. Like you got to prove to me that you want him, that
And I
you.
think they can sign him for the rest of the year and just have him for the rest of this contract.
That, that works too.
I just want to know if you want to absorb his current contract, which let's be real, he's a late round pick. It's not that expensive. We could probably do it. So with me, with James Houston, I think I'm on board with it as well. I think I want to see him pursue this guy. Try to get him in the building. Obviously, we are a division leader, so we gotta expect that we might not necessarily have priority in the waiver, and that if somebody else gets in front of us, that doesn't mean burn the building down and that we didn't try to go after him. All right. But that could mean that somebody else gets them in. Just hey, sit down, guys, sit down. That could mean the Bucks get him. All right. Now the Bucks seem to have figured out their pass rush, so they might not be thirsty to sign a guy who, in James Houston, who is really not a great run defender. He's not a great run defender. He's not really, really good in coverage. He's not really necessarily a disciplined rusher. I know it's hard to deny because when you put on just the highlight tape, man, nah, I need a piece of that action. I need it in Atlanta. He's got one sack this year. This is the only sack he's had in the last 2 years because he had those 8 sacks. He got hurt most of last year. Played in 8 games this year, I think, coming off the bench. He's been scratched quite a few times. Only has 1 sack. Lorenzo Carter has 0 sacks. D'Angelo Malone has 0 sacks. Damon Harris has 0 sacks. Arnold Ebiketie has 1 sack. James Smith-Williams has 1 sack. David Onyemata has 1 sack. Grady Jarrett and Matthew Dijon are the only guys on the team with more than 1 sack, and they have 2 sacks, 2.5 sacks. But y'all get the joke.
Oh my God, I feel like I'm on Sesame Street counting.
Yo, man, get the count out. Count can't even fill his whole hand up with sacks from 1 player. So if we can bring him in as a DPR, designated pass rusher, tighten up on some of the defensive philosophy, which we'll get into a little bit later, then I'd love to see him in a role where maybe he's not necessarily being an every down player, but like getting pass rush opportunities, especially given the lack of success we've had coming from those positions. I'd like to see, but I mean, sacks are a fickle stat. I'm making jokes about him having 1 sack compared to what guys on the team have, but that doesn't mean he's a better player than Arnold Ebiketie. That doesn't mean like he's gonna give you the consistent pressure that Ebiketie's been giving us, even though he only has the 1 sack. So when you talk about pass rushers, and bringing them in, you got to talk about who's not gonna be on the field when this guy's getting those reps. I'm okay with him, Lorenzo Carter not being on the field while he gets those reps. I'm okay with D'Angelo Malone not being on the field when he gets those reps. I'm okay with James Smith-Williams not being on the field when he's already out right now. I'm pretty sure he's still out on with his hurt tibia, hurt leg. I don't know if it's broken or fractured or something, which would be huge because now, I don't know if you can sign a guy like that because James Smith-Williams was more of a run stopper, and you got to fill that role, or you end up with situations like we had in Denver. All right, now That's that. So I think we both agree. We would love to see them pick up James Smith-Williams, right?
Oh, for sure.
All right, then let's go ahead and talk about what we saw this weekend, namely from the Buccaneers of Tampa Bay and of our upcoming opponent, the Chargers. The Chargers. Now I want to start with Tampa. I watched the game. They won 30-7 in New York. I'll say this much: they looked very good on offense, as we expected. They've been a good offensive team this year. That's not anything new. They held the Giants to 7 points. Pretty much had control the whole game from the start. I did notice. I did notice that a lot of reports coming out of New York. This seemed like destined for a squash match a little. They just released Daniel Jones. And that's fine. But the players did not seem on board with it.
Oh
They
yeah, let's
didn't.
talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
Now,
the
what do you
players were
think?
not feeling none of that process. I don't know. Did you see what Malik Neighbors was saying after the game when they asked him about getting the ball?
Oh man, they're down
Yeah.
30-0, and he don't start getting the ball to the second half. And
Hey,
let's rewind. Let's also rewind. Daniel Jones gets fired. He essentially got fired. They cut him.
yeah.
Then your quarterback, who is next in line, who's actually competent, Drew Lock, they say, nah, we can't have you play. You might win us some games. Hey. Bring the Italian stallion in.
That's right.
So they did. They put Tommy DeVito in, and what? It didn't look good. That organization is a dumpster fire right now. There's a lot of internal disagreements between the players and the coaches. Hell, even in the front office as well. You let Saquon Barkley out your door to keep Daniel Jones, and then you fire him halfway through the season. Yeah, GM got to go, owner got to go, head coach got to go, players getting traded. It's a wrap.
It's a tear down job.
Tampa Bay did what they were supposed to do. Now, granted, if it was the Falcons, we might have only won by like 2 scores. But
you better believe I'm waiting for the 27-14 game. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, yeah, we control that game.
Yeah.
We had it was 20-14 and we scored that touchdown late in the fourth to go up by 2 scores.
Exactly.
Yeah, won by 2 scores there.
Right. Yeah.
Total control of the game.
But yeah, Tampa looks like they're ready to run the table. So, not that being said, let's talk about.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is, man, hey, what did I say? Are you keeping your eyes on that team in Charlotte?
I saw that too. I saw that too.
I told you, man. They starting to they getting that kind of motivation you get from your quarterback, your rookie getting benched and getting back in it and getting a taste of winning again and winning with your new coach. Because his culture don't really start building until you get that first win.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Till they really start. Okay,
I
saw
that game, and he coached to his strengths. They actually got a decent head coach.
Yeah, no, Dave Canales. Dave Canales is a proven look. The work he's did with Baker and with Geno, basically those guys are looked at as franchise quarterbacks, as the franchise quarterbacks they should have been. And I'm not saying they all amazing, Baker's better this year. So for all we know, he was holding them back, but I don't think that's the case. I think Baker's actually better. And I will admit, the Bucs offensive coordinator, boy, he gonna get poached. He's gonna get poached next year. So because that guy's doing great work, and he's doing great work because Tampa's been one of the worst rushing teams in the league for the last 3 years, but not this year. This year Tampa is running the ball. It feels so good to have beaten them twice because they are about to go on a run. But I still believe that the Panthers are getting one of them. Now I think I picked the Panthers for this one coming up. Maybe not. Maybe it won't be this one. Maybe it'll be the next one. But I firmly think. But I think I picked the Panthers for the one that they're at home. I think and I'm kind of glad we already beat Carolina in Carolina and that they got to travel because they at least at a point where they play better at home. All right. Now they lost last week. Let's not act like they didn't give up 30 points to the Chiefs. And let's be real. The Chiefs ain't had a great offense this year. Chiefs have kind of regressed. So
10-1, but they have regressed.
Right. They're winning games, but I mean offensively, they've regressed. But they also put up 27 on Kansas City's defense. So that's huge growth for their offense. All right. So and Tampa, look, now maybe it's they let off the gas because they were beating the hell out of them. But they only scored 7 in the second half. I've been noticing a little bit of a trend. Which actually is something I've noticed about the Chargers a little bit too. Now I didn't look up all of the games. I just watched the last two games, and I'm like, how long this been going on? Because I know I would think back to the scores I would see where the Chargers go up big or go up by like 2, 3 scores, and then they don't really score any more points after that. And I'm like, y'all just figure out a way to put up like a quick 20 or something, and like you just hang on for dear life, and usually teams can't come back by scoring because you got a good defense. I don't know.
That's been their formula. They've been a very run heavy team. They control the clock. They capitalize on passing downs when it matters the most, and that's essentially how they've been beating the team. That's the John Harbaugh method with the Jim Harbaugh method.
Yeah, it
Whichever
really
the
is.
whichever the one is in actually it's both the Harbaugh methods.
I'm about to say this the first year like the Ravens have been this level of explosive. Like his first MVP campaign was explosive, but it was like, oh, it was Greg Roman explosive. It was the Chargers offensive coordinator game kind of explosive. So it's like heavy ground game work. But they got Todd Monken in now. Does Baltimore, and so like it's explosive by running, but it's a lot more explosive as a passing offense too. Um, so all right. I guess we're gonna talk about the Chargers, at least the game. I know that was a hard stop because we were talking about Buccaneers. We'll come back to that, but um, what I keep noticing about the Chargers is they they are who you think they are. Like seriously, like there's a hard nosed team. They got a big, strong, physical offensive line. They got a good defense, right? Um, but what I'm seeing in their game is that their receivers are what you think they are. Their receive, and we knew what we thought they were going to be when they let Keenan Allen go, when they let Mike Williams go. I was like, well, hell, who this man throwing the ball to? And then the first pick they took in the draft, they took Joe Alt. They took Joe Alt when they had Rome Odunze still on the board. Was Malik Neighbors on the board, or did Malik go to pick before? I think Malik went to pick right before him.
He might have won, yeah. Either right before or right after.
But he was Malik Neighbors the second receiver taken?
I want to.
Because Marvin Harrison was fourth after the 3 quarterbacks. Then it was Marvin Harrison, and then I think it was Malik Neighbors. And I can't remember if Joe Alt went 6 or 7, but when they used the top 10 pick and decided to go for the O lineman instead of Rome Odunze, the third best receiver on the board, that was a commitment to the type of team that they were going to be this year. I think it exposed itself against Baltimore, and I think that if you can take them out of the run, see what Baltimore did that was able to let them really get this game out of control was they started to get separation late, and started keeping the Chargers in check on offense. So the Chargers have had a little bit of a struggle on offense in the last couple of games. You remember that Cincinnati game, they went up by 21 points, and then the Bengals came back. And as we all know, in a comeback, it can never happen just because you started giving up a bunch of points, or just because you started giving up a bunch of points. A comeback happens because you give a bunch of points and you ain't scoring no points. All right? So that's, basically 2 consecutive games where they're not really scoring a lot of points. Like basically, so for this game, against the Ravens, they scored 13 in the first half, and they scored 10 in the second half. But it was a fake 10. It was y'all got held to 3 the whole time until Baltimore went up by 2 scores, and then you scored a late touchdown that, with a minute left. Well, with 46 seconds left.
And then they essentially got bailed out by a couple pass interferences to put the ball on the 1. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, you got to put that in perspective. Now, I dare not compare this Falcons defense to the Ravens defense, right? Like, but now the Ravens hadn't been as good as in times past. They are the worst pass defense in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like Jamar Chase about to go off the Pro Bowl off of just his numbers against them this year. You know what I'm saying? But The Ravens can't rush the passer though. They can rush the passer and stop the run. Now, I guess I'm gonna segue into the preview, because I it was more things I wanted to go, but I want to go ahead and talk about the game going forward because this is a game where the Falcons got to stop the run. And if we stop the run, ideally, what I would have liked for the Falcons to achieve from this past bye week was, hey, let's take a look at our team. We're not going to look at the next team. I know for us, it's easy to just say, hey, you should be looking at your team and seeing what's wrong. But they got to look at a lot of the film for the next week. So they're looking at a lot of their opponent. They look at some of that team, but I think they're looking more at their opponent and game planning around. I think this is one of those weeks when you get that bye week where you look at your team, review a lot of tape of your team, and see what your team's doing well, what your team sucks at, what you need to do more of. Now, we heard this week that Raheem was going to want to go with more play action, which they should have. Play action has been one of Kirk Cousins' best weapons. Like, he's been one of the best in the league, not just best for him, but best amongst all quarterbacks using a lot of play action, playing under center. And we haven't been doing that. So ideally, we're getting a lot more of a focus on that. Now, if we want to talk about their defense, so Christian Fulton, that's the number 2 corner there. He can be had. He's big and physical, but he gets handsy if he feels himself getting beat on a route. Right. So that's an opportunity for to draw pass interference there. Now, what I do have concerns about as far as us going up against the defense is the Chargers have 2 edge rushers. They got Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. So that means that Caleb McGarry, gonna have to earn that check. All right.
He is. He gonna have to earn it.
And no chance that's happening. So I know what it immediately sounds like to me is, oh, okay, so this about to be a low scoring Kyle Pitts game. We're going to try to keep Kyle Pitts in to be your extra pass protector on passing plays. Great.
Hey, we got Charlie Warner back, baby. We got Charlie Warner.
Hey man, look, we were doing that. We were doing that shit with Charlie Warner's healthy.
Yeah, that's true too.
it's kind of annoying for me because I'm like, hey man, look.
No, I agree, man. We got this 6'6" unicorn, man. And when Kyle Pitts gets over 50 yards a game, we win. We win because he's a matchup problem, and he's like, we got to take advantage of this, man. That's why I'm saying, like, we got 6 games left. We got 3 gimmies. I'm not gonna really count them as gimmies, but they essentially are gimmies. And then we got 3 games against 3 playoff teams: the Chargers, the Vikings, and the Commanders. We're gonna have to go 10-7. That means we gotta win one of these games against a playoff team. We at home against the Chargers, bro. I think they can be had. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be real hard. They're coming off a loss. They're gonna be galvanized. Jim Harbaugh's a good head coach, but I think we can pull it off at home. It's gonna be hard. Like, it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take us playing damn near perfect football because our defense can't stop shit. Granted, thankfully the Chargers have a glaring weakness in their receiver. They got McConkey or however the fuck you say his name.
Lad McConkey went to University of Georgia, number 84.
Who was
84 at Georgia.
He was very solid, but they also got with Quentin Johnson, who very inconsistent, drops a lot of passes, but knowing our luck, this will be the day he'll go.
Oh, he'll catch the occasional 50-yard bomb.
He'll go 8 for 150 and 2 TDs, knowing our luck. But
and look, we know what the real fear is. Justin Herbert's a mobile quarterback.
And has no issues running the ball.
And no issues running it, right? But my thing is, what I really want to see, and since we on it, when we talk about the defense as far as, because the offense needs to improve, but the offense has shown sparks of like, all right, we do it well. Now the issue is they've only played well on offense against shitty defenses. I mean, we moved the ball against the Chiefs. I'll give you that. We didn't score. We only scored 15 though. we had a decent game. We ran the ball really well against Philly, but I don't know if Philly was elite then. They had games like that first game, that game they had against the Saints, they played really well.
They've won
Against
7 straight.
the
So they've
huh?
come together.
Yeah, they were really the ones who put the blueprint together on the Saints that started sending them spiraling. But outside of that, we hadn't really played well. In fact, actually, we played pretty bad. Like, the Steelers, one of our worst offensive outputs of the year. The Broncos, our worst offensive output of the year. Um, Seahawks got a better defense than I gave them credit for. You know what I'm saying? They took care of us. Now, to be fair, we marched the ball up and down on Seattle. We just got the worst time penalties, and then Kirk started turning the ball over in the second half. But we kind of hadn't been handling these strong defenses. But aside from that, I mean, there's a bit of a way now. San Diego. Los Angeles Chargers, they got pretty decent run defense. They got good edges. They get decent pressure. I think if we can hold up, then we can attack them and their linebackers in coverage. We can attack the safeties in coverage. Well, maybe not Derwin James, but I mean, with Kyle Pitts, you can.
You can.
Like
You
Derwin
can't cover
James,
everybody.
he can cover, but I view him as a bigger, more cover safety. I mean, as a bigger, a harder hitter, in the box safety. But I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what you want Kyle Pitts for. That's what you go to him for. But yeah, I think if we abuse somebody for the game, it's got to be Christian Fulton. That's the defense is right, so it's the right cornerback on their defense. He can be had, and he can be had with speed, which is where I think Donnell Mooney can maybe expose that matchup some. Now I don't know how we. No, actually, I take that back. I think I said something incorrect. I think I said the Chargers have a good run defense. I believe that is incorrect. It came off the top of my head, but I believe they give up almost 5 yards a carry. They give up like 4.8 yards a carry or something like that. Yeah. So they don't necessarily give up huge yards, but it's easier not to give up huge yards when you're getting that big lead, like I talked about. They always get that lead in the first half, and then you gotta abandon the run to get back in the game. They do buckle down in a lot of clutch situations, so you do need to be prepared for them on third down. You need to be prepared for them in the red zone. That's when they play their best ball. But you can run the ball on these guys. And so, a heavy dose of featuring Bijan and Tyler Algier, and then play action, heavy dose of play action to draw that in. Also to hold those edges to help protect your O-line a little bit against Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. And I think we got a recipe for a reasonable offensive output for this game, right?
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Right, right. Then we get to the defense, though. Now, see, when we talk about stopping them, now stopping San Diego, the hard part for us, that's the worst part is they can run the ball. They're really physical, though. It's not like they're just running the ball sideline to sideline, and we got to have the speed. Not that we do. In fact, actually, this is the kind of game that Nate Landman is on the roster for, right? Um, their running backs are Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. These not like elite pass catching running backs. You know what I'm saying? If they get the ball, they can probably outrun him. But these not like, this ain't no Christian McCaffrey. This ain't no Austin Eckler in his prime. This it's not those kind of running backs that we got to worry about, right? They like to get downhill. They like to use a lot of gap schemes. So this is really the kind of game Nate Landman should, in theory, thrive in. It should, in theory, be a harder game for Troy Anderson. And we'll see what happens with Caden Ellis, but we got to hold up at the point of attack. I got concerns there. I got concerns about us stopping the run. I'm gonna just go ahead and put that out there. But if we can manage the run, and if we can score and force their hand as far as throwing the ball, I think if we play tight and physical with these receivers, we can be very disruptive to that pass game. All right.
I think we can be.
Yeah, yeah. They look. They got that receiving group is shaky. All right, Lad McConkey, the rookie, is probably their best receiver because you got Quentin Johnston, you got Josh Palmer, the vet who he's been there for a while, and he's never been like an amazing guy. He makes timely catches, and I expect he'll have some timely catches against us as well. All right. Now, it's Tuesday night as we're recording, so we don't know exactly what injury statuses is going to be for our cornerback group because that's kind of what was one of the big issues against Denver when we played them a couple weeks ago. Had a lot of cornerback injuries, but if we can have those cornerbacks, get healthy, I want to see us challenge those receivers. There's no reason that we should be playing off soft coverage against this receiving group when we played tight coverage, excuse me, when we went with a lot of man and played a lot of tighter coverage against Seattle, we got burned against the receiving group, but we got way more pressure, right? And remember, I said, hey, and if you don't believe me, go check one of the other podcasts, the one after the one before the game. It might have been before the game. I can't remember, but I said, um. The one thing that's scary about Seattle is that they have the pass catching group to give fits if we don't actually get home under pressure. That is not the case for San Diego for the Chargers. The Chargers do not have the receiving group that we should be fearing. We should be clamping down on them receivers hard. We should be playing loaded boxes. Hey, stop the run. If we got to bite a little on some play actions, that's fine. All right. The other thing too is we got to have huge rush lane integrity, man, because we don't get enough pressure um to 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 trust that we're gonna get home with just the four up front. So
Hey,
it's
I'll
gonna
say this. We said the same thing 2 weeks ago when we played Denver about their pass catching group. All they had was Cortland Sutton, and they embarrassed us.
did they embarrass us with the receivers?
They
Or
embarrassed
was it
us with all.
mostly going with the running backs? Well, they got whatever they wanted though. We played
That's
so
what I'm
far
saying.
off.
They just embarrassed us. Like both.
They killed us mostly with the screen game though.
Yeah.
Plus, they also have a good old line, so we were getting even less pressure than usual. Bo Nix was running the ball. They were running the ball. They were killing us in the play action screen game. But look, when we said the same thing about Tampa after Mike Evans and Chris Godwin went down, we was right. Now they still moved the ball, but they moved the ball with Cade Otton, Bucky Irving, Rashad White, with the running backs and tight ends. They didn't get much help from the receivers. All right. Now the running back group that the Bucks bring, I think, brings a little more talent, a little more juice. Now they do have decent running backs, but those are the guys from Baltimore, so they're gonna be physical. I know Gus Edwards probably the more physical of the two, and I think J.K. Dobbins a little more explosive. But like I said, man, it's gonna come down. Look, this is one of them football games that this like the old school shit. All right, the only new school part about playing this team on offense is that the quarterback run. All right. Now, I don't know if we gonna do that shit. That's where it always gets shaky. Let's be real. We didn't look good stopping the run, but I mean we hadn't been the worst team against the run. All right. And we just never know if Kurt gonna turn it over or not.
I think those are the two big takeaways for me. I think we got to win the turnover battle.
Think so.
We have to win the turnover battle, and we got to get them in, and we got to get the Chargers in a third and long situations. That's been our bugaboo as a team. That's been like our Achilles heel. Teams have been able to run the ball pretty well on us on first and second down. Next thing you know, it's like 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 max 3rd and 3.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, they're in a short passing down, or they'll even run it again and get a first down. That's just been the theme of the season for us. We got to find a way to get them in third and long situations. Now, I believe in our DBs, and if our secondary is healthy again, I believe they'll show their worth like they have throughout the season. Like our secondary does pretty well. The main thing about our defense is our linebackers get exposed and teams can just run all over us. And it's harder for us to get any kind of pressure. It's been a struggle. That's why I'm like, we signed Justin Houston,
James.
James Houston.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, if we sign James Houston, I'd be 100% cool with it. But if not, then it is what it is. We got to use what we got. That has also been another theme of our show. We consistently talk about work with what you have, and what we have ain't much on defense. It ain't much. Our offense is going to have to dictate how we play for the rest of the year. Our offense is going to have to be the leaders. They're going to. We're going to have to be able to score points, and our defense is going to have to be able to do just enough to hold. It is what it is.
Hey man, with all the investments on that side of the ball, they damn sure better.
And exactly, we have not truly invested on the defense. Now, granted, this is an episode for another day when we talk about the future draft next year, about investing more in the defense. But right now, we got what we got. Everything we got on defense is through free agency. We have not truly invested like we have on the offense side. We got Drake London, we got Bijan, we got Kyle Pitts, we got playmakers, and our playmakers gonna have to play. Zach is gonna have to dial up some more shit for Kyle Pitts, because when Kyle Pitts scores over 50 yards, we somehow find a way to win games. The 6'6" unicorn gets the ball, and we start winning. Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thunk it?
Right, exactly. So we're going to have to find a way to get Cal the ball. We're going to have to run the ball extremely well, get the ball to Bijan and Tyler, let them dictate the pace of this game, keep Justin Herbert off of the field, and, hey, our defense just do enough, man. Like, at this point, I can't ask for more because they're not incapable of doing more. So just try to get some stops. Now, granted, I've noticed a trend, not these last two games. Actually, I can't even say the last two games. This last game, because I even saw it when we played the Saints. We make great second half adjustments. Our team typically holds other teams to under 10 points in the second half. If we can just keep it close in the first half, keep it close, keep it within 10 points, we're good. And that's all I need. If we can keep it within 10 points by halftime, I think our offense will be good enough to score points and move the ball on the Chargers. And I think we have a legit chance.
No, I think we got a legit chance too, man. Look, the Chargers not this unbeatable juggernaut, right? When like the Ravens are a team that's like they beatable, but the Ravens do look good. All right, they looking like their offense can actually legitimately score their points. So they're scoring like 30 a game. They look like they actually can do that against most teams, not just running up the score against bad teams and then play a good defense. You can't run it no more. So we're not getting them. We're not getting the Lions coming in. All right, the Chargers got one more win than us. All right, let's not act like we got world beaters coming in, and they coming off a short week. Hold on, what's the Chargers record? Chargers 7-5?
7-6 now.
No.
No,
I think they're 7-5 now.
No, you're right. They're 7-5 now.
Are they 7-5 or 7-4?
I want to say they're. Actually, let me look. I'll let you know in 1 sec. Actually, I take that back. The Chargers are 7-4. They got one more win than us.
Yeah. They're a game up on us. All right. They're coming off a short week. While we coming off a bye, they going cross country. All right. We got all the little auxiliary advantages. All right. And they have enough weaknesses on their team that a team that is capable of exploiting it can pretty easily do so.
Oh, I agree.
Now, whether or not you're gonna win is a whole different thing. But like exploit those issues, yeah, it's doable. All right.
For sure, I agree. This is a Jim Harbaugh coach team. They're gonna play hard. Even all those little intangibles that should fall in our favor, they're still going to play hard. This is a well-coached team, and they play to their coach's identity, and we got to prepare for that.
I agree, brother. All right, what's your score prediction?
See, the bye week has got my delusion kicking in. I'm back.
He's like, I haven't watched the Falcons play for 2 whole weeks. I'm feeling giddy now.
Right? uh this will be a close game. I don't think either team scores 30. I think this will be a low scoring affair. I say 27-24 Falcons.
All right.
No, I'll even say we went off a cool game winner.
All right. Now, I also think this will be a low scoring game, but unfortunately, because it's a low scoring game, I think that favors the Chargers. I think that's sort of how the Chargers like it. I think we like it better if we can move the ball more, and even if it's a little bit of a track meet, I think we would prefer to have our defense have to make plays in big moments than to have to play consistently good defense, right? I don't know if our pass protection is going to hold up as it should. That's been a huge issue the last 2 weeks. And if they get home, I don't know if I trust Kirk to hold on to the ball. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I trust Kirk to not turn it over. Now, Kirk's not playing bad. You know, that's the reason I didn't talk much about him, because I know what I want to see from the offense as a whole, right? Kirk is going to be Kirk, all right? And we are home for this game. But I just think this is going to be the rough part of the year for the Falcons. Now, what I will say is I'm not picking against them because I don't think they can win. I'm picking against them because I just need to see it first. I believe wholeheartedly. Now, like this is going to be one of those games. That is why I was so big on having a coach with previous head coaching experience. All right. I need the coach to know how he need to handle his bye week and come out and make adjustments. All right. There's some coaches out there like hell, Mike Vrabel, no matter how good or how bad the Titans were, when you play them after a bye week, you can take an L that week. Because you give me 2 weeks to prepare? Oh, that's an advantage I'm about to take advantage of. Andy Reid, you play Andy Reid team for the longest time. You play Andy Reid team after a bye week? Oh, you about to lose. All right. This is the perfect time I need to see that Raheem can steady his ship with 2 weeks. With 2 weeks to prepare before a tough opponent. All right. It's like the perfect test. All the auxiliary benefits are in your favor, right? They're not exactly a team that takes full advantage of everything you do horrible. You know what I'm saying? There's a strategy that you may be able to execute to win. And there's obvious things wrong with your team that you need to make adjustments for. All right. So like this is like the salad and everything that I need to see. And I'll be like, all right, cool. I think we can rock with Raheem, right? So if we win this game and we win it in a certain fashion, a fashion that I think we can carry forward with us in the future, then I will at least be I'll be sold on the Falcons for this year. All right. Now, unfortunately, I'm picking the Falcons to lose this game. We'll say 20-17. I think it's 23-17. I don't think we're gonna hold the Chargers to 20 points. Maybe the Chargers. In fact, actually, I expect the Chargers to have a good first half, and I think maybe they'll score 17 in the first half, and it'll be something like 17 to 7 at half or something. And then we're going to outscore them in the second half, like 10-3, but then they get a late field goal or something to be, and end up being 23-17 because we don't score our game winning a game tying touchdown or whatever. All right. But look, the Falcons defense plays better in the second half than the Chargers offense plays. I think there's a way, but I did pick the Chargers before. I saw some stuff on tape, and everything works for the Falcons. But I'm gonna keep my pick on the Chargers. But I'll tell you what, now you might still see, you might see that little optimism creep back in the building if we see them win this game. because this one of those kinds of games I need to see the Falcons win for me to feel a little more solid on his coaching staff.
Oh, I agree. This to me is essentially a playoff game. If the Falcons, if we get our ass beat, we are who we thought we were. If
Yep.
we lose a close game and like play well, I see improvements on both sides of the ball, like namely the defense. Where I see some pressure, some sacks. I see like, oh, we getting after this.
Yeah.
And if we still somehow manage to lose, I'll be like, you know what, we lost, but there's things I can rest my hat on. If we win, oh baby,
Yo.
look, I'm breaking down the door with delusion. I'm breaking down the door with it, baby.
Hey man, gonna be
And
drunk
we're
off
out
it.
the rest of the year, baby. Ooh, wait. But all in all, going into this game, I feel confident that we have Raheem, a head coach with experience, championship experience. I'm never going to forget that. Raheem Morris is a champion. He's a DC for the Rams. And I think that stint and all the stints combined have put him in this position to where I think he can lead our team through this rough patch. I'm choosing to believe. Now, Jimmy, not so much, but I believe that Raheem can rally the guys, rally the offense, rally the defense. I think Raheem is the guy who can do that. So I'm optimistic in that. We'll see
Speaking of which, so one of the things I meant to talk about before we got to the score predictions was another thing I heard rumblings of is that people are ready for Raheem to take over as play caller on the defense. Is that something that you want to see?
Not in year one, no. I mean, granted, if it gets to the point where we're just losing games because our defense just can't get right at all, then yeah. Like if we get our ass beat against the Chargers and then next week get our ass beat again against the Vikings, take over. Actually, I take that back. If we get our ass beat, if we lose by like 30 points after a bye to the Chargers, take over. Because Jimmy's got to go. He's got to go. Get him up out of here. So we'll see after this game. If it's a close game and we lose, no. If we get our ass beat, yeah. If we win, keep him to the end of the season. I don't care.
All right. I didn't think I wanted to see that either. For me, one of the biggest reasons anyway why I don't want to see that is because I asked myself, I said, why Falcons fans asking for that? Right? Let's be real. The real reason we've been asking for that is because we remember in 2016 when Dan Quinn, the defensive head coach, took over play calling duties. I can't remember who the defensive coordinator was then. I think the next year it was Marquand Manuel, I want to say, but maybe it was I can't remember who it was that year. But he took over defensive play calling, and then the defense looked a lot better, right? But the reason I don't want to see that is because, as a head coach, you're responsible for everything, right? The house was in order on offense at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like the offense was a guaranteed 30. All you had to do, well, for the most part, I mean, we had like a game or two we didn't score 30, but the offense was going to do their thing. You didn't need to touch that. So that freed you up as a head coach to not focus on that side of the ball and focus on defense, and then you get it pulled together. But I don't feel like the Falcons quite got it together enough on offense that I'm ready to see Jimmy focus all his attention on defense. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah. No,
he better be focusing all his
better do
attention.
it.
Boy, hey, I bet not see you eating no motherfucking turkey on goddamn Thanksgiving. You better have your playbook open. You better be watching some film. Don't be watching no fucking football with the family unless it's a replay of your defense or something. Only focused on defense. I don't want to see Raheem only focused on defense. I do want to see him get a little more hands-on, though. I do want. I hope he and Jimmy is, saying, hey, we need to be a little more aggressive, man. Like what we're doing right now, just not working. Especially, and it looks worse after you give up 38 points. And I don't think we had a turnover last game either. So all 38 of those were the hard-earned variety.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and I'm I'm also hoping, he get on the special teams coach a little bit. They've been extremely disciplined on punt team, but they've been giving up punt returns. I mean, kickoff returns. They've been kind of giving up punt returns a little bit too, man. Let's tighten up on this return game, man. That's affecting field position. Shit,
No,
even
I
when you get a
agree. I
stop,
agree.
now they get, they got a punt 10 yards less than you might have had if your team was better in the return game. So that's what I want to see. But I think now I will say I think I might be with you. If the Chargers like score like a year high on points or something, and they're not really the highest scoring team, they can score. They're just not like that's just 30 points is a big deal for them. You know what I'm saying? If they do that, take over. You need to do what you got to do. You like to try to get the season under control.
Oh yeah, and just take it as a learning lesson that hey, you can't hire all your friends.
You can't. But look, all I'm gonna say is, look, if you ask me on Thanksgiving what I'm thankful for, hell, that's what we should have did. We should have did a Thanksgiving segment and say everything you thankful for. Matter of fact, quick, hurry up, give me 3 things you thankful for this football season with the Falcons.
We have played 11 games and we're 6-5. I'm thankful for that. They've given me something to watch for every week. I'm also thankful that aside from like, I'm not really gonna count the Seahawks game considering we gave that to them. But aside from one game this year, we've been in every game. And also, I'm gonna tell you what I'm extremely thankful for. The number one thankful thing I'm thankful for this football season: health. Our team, especially when it comes to like our marquee positions,
Yeah.
haven't really been hurt. Knock on wood, but I'm thankful for that. I never pray for injuries. In fact, before every game, that's the first thing I ask for. Please, nobody get hurt, and then I ask for the dub. so,
Yo,
so yeah, I'm thankful for that, man. It's been a good year. All in all, we've had a rough last couple weeks, but I think after this bye, I think it's just gonna work out. How about you, man?
hey man, look, I'm thankful that no matter how this game end, and no matter how this Sunday end, we still in first place because we got the tiebreaker over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That
All
part.
right, that part. Um, I am thankful that we got a decent offensive coordinator and a decent quarterback situation this year. All right. If we would have had Desmond Ritter or Marcus Mariota, I'd have been feeling real tight these last 6 games of the year. Right now, I'm still a little like comfortable. Right. I know that the Bucks only 1 game back. I'm still feeling like, we can win. We could take care of this and
Still
win the
whipping
driver's
the
seat.
driver's seat.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, bro, I'm just thankful every game been watchable. 2 years ago, well, 2 or 3 years ago, it was a slog. It was a slog. Last year most of the games were watchable. Now this year they're watchable and we winning a little bit more of them. Now this the chance for this team to be different than last year's team. That last year's team won 7 games. We've won 6 and 11. We got 6 left. I think ideally we can be able to win more than 7 this year. And so I am thankful for that. All right.
Amen.
I'm thankful we play in the NFC South.
Oh, yes.
Boy, 6-5 could be nothing. You know what I'm
Right?
saying? But if you're NFC South, if you're NFC West, you're in it to win the division.
Hey,
All right?
I can live with it, baby.
I'm thankful we play in the dome.
Cool.
Because if we get to host a playoff game, we at least know that Kirk not gonna have to play outside, and we not gonna have to pretend that we an indoor team when we not. Although we can run the ball. All right.
Well said, brother.
All right, man. Well, look. Think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. You know what I'm saying? Have a happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully we give you something nice to listen to on your ride to wherever you're going for Thanksgiving. For me, I'm going to Savannah this Thanksgiving, so I got a little 4 or 5 hour drive on my hands, depending on which part I'm driving from and which part I'm going to. And so At least I know how it is can be accounted for if I wait till then to listen to this. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the little bell when you want to know some real niggas uploading. Peace.
Peace.